Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day, where I'm going to be talking about using AI as a self-published author in surprising ways that may not have occurred to you yet. They certainly haven't occurred to some of our Leanpub authors, and that's one of the reasons that I'm talking today, to share some of the things that we've been learning from working with authors every day all around the world, working on books on all kinds of different topics and in many different genres, and the challenges and opportunities that they're facing and the things that they're missing that they can actually use from AI. Uh, as usual, if you're watching the recording of this video, which is most people who are going to be watching it, please skip ahead to the 2-minute mark unless you want to watch me do the normal housekeeping that we do, just to introduce people who are new to the videos and to give people some time to jump in if they find this online while it's live. As always, there's a blog post accompanying the tip of the day that you can find on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. You can find all the videos recorded on our YouTube channel at Leanpub. Please, like and subscribe and tell your friends and all that kind of stuff. We've published dozens of these videos, and we hope to keep doing them. And they're sort of an interesting kind of like record of kind of day-to-day developments in AI and but mostly book self-publishing and publishing courses and writing and things like that, the day-to-day challenges that people face and the solutions that we help them find, or they help us find, as well as a kind of living help center with videos showing you how to do things on Leanpub, how to market your book, things like that, how to write your book, how to publish your book, how all of our various features work, and how all of our new features work as well. So you can find all these resources pretty easily. And of course, you can always reach out and ask us to cover something that we haven't covered in the past or that you'd like us to cover again on one of these tips of the day. So with that said, let me just do my little countdown of 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2-minute mark of the Lean Publishing Tip of the Day live stream for today. Today, I'm going to be giving you a little guide to using AI as a self-published book author. Obviously AI is in the news for all kinds of different reasons, and particularly if you're in the book world, you're going to find that almost everything everyone's talking about mostly is using AI to write books, and the controversies and kind of coming to terms that this represents for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways about what's the value of writing, what's the value of human writing, what's the nature of an author, things like that. Very deep philosophical issues, deep practical issues, deep kind of financial and economic issues. Literary prizes, for example, are having particularly obvious kind of problems with this kind of thing, as are organizations that pay people for writing, and that's just a sort of feature of the landscape now that we're all working our way through, and we'll get through it. Leanpub, of course, we have a very cool, basically AI skill, it's called Ghost AI, that you can use to help, kind of talk to it about, what if you're thinking of a book idea, so you want to write yet another book on Abraham Lincoln, what's your take? You can use our Ghost AI to kind of talk to it about what that no one else knows, what you're interested in that no one else is interested in, to kind of draft an outline of your book. Obviously, you can edit it, kind of draft the structure of your book. You can use it to kind of marshal all the resources that you've gathered, all the notes you've taken, all the quotes you've written down in your own files, and then you can use our Ghost AI skill to kind of help you write your chapters and find that you're like, oh, I remember I found this in my document somewhere. You can use Ghost AI to kind of try to find that quote. So there's all kinds of really cool ways that you can use AI to help you structure and write books. But the thing I wanted to talk about today is that basically these AIs have given you incredible technical superpowers. And this matters in lots of different ways. Anyone who's a self-published author or who's gotten into it or tried getting into it and maybe given up knows that basically you're going to confront a million technical challenges. And they're going to be every day. They're going to be coming at you all the time. There's going to be this new thing and that new thing, maybe not new to everyone else, but new to you. There can be a new platform with new features and all that kind of stuff. So basically, as a self-published author these days, you've got all these technical challenges. How do I use this new platform? What's an AMA? How do I live stream? How do I get on a podcast? How do I set up my own podcast? Stuff like that. And Basically, the interesting thing about these AIs is that they're there available to you to make you essentially give you like your own technical assistant, someone who knows these things and can solve them for you. So if you're like, the last thing I want to think about is setting up a website. How do I get a domain name? Like, what's a domain name? How do I buy it? After I buy it, how do I hook it up to my WordPress? Like, like all of these things. And the thing is, it's every day and it's all the time and it's nonstop. And of course, one thing you always feel is that you're being left behind, that there's other people who know how to do all these technical things you don't know. So how are you gonna meet these challenges? And the answer is basically these AI tools are just there. That's like kind of what they're best at. People often talk about AI is best at this, best at that, but they're really good at this kind of thing. And the example that actually came up today, which is the reason that I'm doing this live stream on this topic today, is that someone was using our upload writing mode on Leanpub to self-publish their books. So they made their own EPUB and/or PDF ebook file, and they uploaded it to Leanpub. And they want to use all the amazing features that we have as a unique self-publishing platform. But one thing that they can't do, that if you write a book on Leanpub, like using our editors, our manuscript creation tools, a table of contents pops out automatically. You don't have to write one. You don't have to format it. Just because you've got chapter headings, basically, you automatically get a table of contents. You don't have to think about it. If you want to think about it, you can, go to the book theme and change the formatting settings and stuff like that. But if you write a book, if you write your book manuscript on Leanpub, you automatically get a table of contents that goes in your book, but also more crucially, and this is what I'm talking about here, on the landing page that you automatically get on Leanpub for your book. So if you create a book on Leanpub, you automatically get a web page that you can fill out with all kinds of things. But what it can't know is what the table of contents is for your uploaded book. But of course, we want people to be able to see the table of contents for your book on your web page. So if you're going to do that, we have an HTML feature. Let me just share this tab. So basically, what you have to do is you have to write some HTML, which is basically a kind of like, programming language for web pages. And if you're not what we call a technical person or a programmer, you're going to look at this and you're going to go, oh my God, what do I have to? I have to learn programming language now just to have a table of contents. And it's like, the funny thing is, like, I come from a non-programming background myself, and this kind of stuff looks like complete gobbledygook and a mystery at first. When you kind of get into the world of doing these things, it's actually kind of like you become a little bit like, Geordi LaForge on the alien spaceship. You're like, okay, I don't know this alien language, but I do know how spaceships work. I know spaceships have propulsion. I know they have weapons. I know they have life support. And doing that, you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. And if you're familiar with kind of technical stuff, you'll be like, oh, TOC obviously means table of contents. There's sort of like something happening here. Oh, what, this is probably like bullet points or something like that. Or, what LI probably means list. This is the start of kind of my thing. This little backslash here means it's the end of something. So you can kind of start to see these things after a while. But if you're a non-technical person, this can be, just not like daunting would be a patronizing way of putting it. It's just like, you're realistic. You're like, I just want a table of contents. I don't want to have to learn a new programming language to be able to do that. And then multiply this by every problem that you have online. You're like, well, I want to do a live stream. Well, okay, so I got stream. How do I do that? How am I going to find live streaming kind of platforms? Can I get them for free? Are they paid? And then you sort of do something like happened to me when I was using StreamYard here, and I wanted to get Instagram on there. And it's like, oh, for Instagram, you need to do something different. You need to get a live stream key. And it's like, oh my God, now I have to learn this. And the amazing thing is that when you've got these AI tools, as a self-published author, you might be an expert in like bee colony collapse. You might be an expert in, Abraham Lincoln. You might be trying to write genre fiction about, cozy mysteries or something like that. And you're like, why is it part of my world that I have to learn not just once, but everything all the time? I have to learn all these technical things. And the great thing is that these AIs, things like Claude and ChatGPT, are incredible tools for basically meaning that you can take advantage of all of these technical things, but you don't kind of have to learn them. So our author, who was having some problem with the formatting of their let me just go back to the blog post of their HTML, asked us, gave us a link, obviously helpfully, to their book, and was like, the table of contents isn't formatting properly. I don't know. They're like, is this a problem with you? Is this a problem with me? I can't tell. And so what Michael, one of our employees, did was just took their HTML, understood the issue, copied their HTML, put it into a Claude, as we say, and asked for an explanation of the issue and a solution, and Claude did it. Because these AIs are great at programming, and this is exactly the kind of thing they're really good at. So then we just kind of copied and pasted the solution from the Claude, and pasted it into an email reply to the author, and off the author went. Now, of course, the lesson here, though, is that as an author, this author actually didn't need to contact us. The author, if they'd had, Claude or ChatGPT or one of these very affordable for personal use AI kind of assistants, they could have just pasted it in and solved the problem. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like hard, especially for people of my vintage and perhaps older, to internalize what a powerful tool this is now. If you, for example, if you're like, okay, the last thing I want to learn is how to set up a website. That sounds complicated. It sounds like risky. Am I giving up my credit card details? How much should I pay? Blah, blah, blah. How am I going to format it, etc.? These things are built to help you do that. You sit down, get a coffee, take a deep breath, and go, hey, I'm a self-published author. My name is so-and-so. I want to set up a website. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's get started. And they will help you step by step go through, like, here's what you need to buy a domain name. Here's what a domain name is. Here are what the recommended ones are, etc. It will walk you through. It is like having a programmer. It is like having a technical person. They're available for you. And it's the funny thing is that it seems like, oh, AI sounds like the paradox here, or the contradiction is that it seems like, oh, now I've got to learn all this AI. Now it's got to get way more technical. And the funny thing is actually what it means is that you can just kind of talk to these AI assistants like you would talk to a person, and you can get the answers that you need to these things. If you run into a problem, if you run into a blocker, you can ask them, and they will probably, with respect to the kind of technical challenges that I'm talking about here, HTML formatting, they will be able to help you and solve the problem for you. So what it means is you can kind of relax. If you run into a problem, you can be like, you know what, it'll take some time, but I'm going to get to a solution, and I'm not going to have to learn. I will learn kind of at the level I need to learn it. I'll learn these things. But for example, how do I set up a newsletter on LinkedIn? Like ChatGPT or Claude or something like that will probably be able to give you a very good answer to something like that you can follow step by step. So the crucial point here is that as a self-published author in the 21st century, you're going to have all kinds of technical issues, like issues in terms of problems, but like opportunities in terms of, should I do newsletters on Substack? Should I do this? How do I set up a website, etc.? Every day you're a self-published author, you're going to be facing technical challenges, new opportunities to assess things like that. And the great thing is that the AI assistants are perfect at helping you understand these things at the level you need to understand them. And they're perfect at helping you kind of build and execute on these things. So in a sense, what's happened is that the technology has taken the technology problem away from you and turned it into something exciting, something new to do, new opportunities, new tools, new powers, in a sense, that you can have every day that you couldn't have had before. So basically, if you think of yourself as a non-technical person, if you can ask the question, how do I set up a website? You will be able to find the way to do it and get the instructions that you need to do this. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the kind of, the way that AI, as a self-published author, you're going to be facing technical challenges and opportunities all the time. The AI is there to help you meet these challenges without having to learn new programming languages or become a technical person yourself. So if you jumped in late to this video, you can find this video and all our other lean publishing tips of the day on our YouTube channel at Leanpub. Please like and subscribe and comment, etc. And yeah, thanks very much, everyone, for watching this video today.